I'm seeing a lot of people who need to get used to how the job search is different now because they were used to getting lots of calls from recruiters or getting people to tell them that something was about to open up. And suddenly they find themselves having to network differently,
Yeah.
talk to people in a different way, yeah, and that it's stretching longer. So
Yes.
what they thought would be 3 months is taking six, nine, maybe even more.
Typically, senior leaders are typically experienced shoulder tapped
Mm-hmm.
experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now there's a different game that's being played out there that you mentioned. Why am I not further along by now? I kind of thought I'd have a couple of conversations and people would be just jumping and asking me to come work for them and what can we do in the future. And so that mindset is part of the process. There needs to be the plan, the strategic
Mm-hmm.
plan, but there's also the mindset on the back end where we're feeling all of the feels, the emotions that go with that.
I want you all to know, listening, that this happens at every single level. This happens to everyone we talk to at some point when they go through a tough search, no matter how high up in their career they had been, how well known in their industry. They feel these feelings of self doubt. Is anyone going to want me? Is anyone going to hire me again? Do I have anything to offer in this market? So you're not alone. If you're feeling like, I just don't, maybe there's just not opportunities for me. Just know you're not alone and there are opportunities for you.
Really
We just
helpful
have
is to have a simple, repeatable morning structure for yourself. And
hmm
typically, when we're searching or networking, we're going through, hey, I got to just pound out 12 hours on a daily basis and apply for every job or connect with every person that I can. And some of those aspects are great, but how am I preparing myself for that? So I'm thinking a little bit more holistically here. So maybe it's a 15-minute morning routine, just an identity reminder, lean into some of those confidence builders of who I am and the things that I have done, but also what I would like going forward. Where am I running to? And then how do
hmm
I want to align to that intention setting? And then micro momentum. So planning, strategy. So maybe it's one small task. Maybe it's not 10 hours of job search for a day. Maybe it's a couple of hours of high impact connections. Maybe
Yes.
it's aligning your LinkedIn profile and just choose one section and focus on that for the day. And it depends where you're at in the process. So if somebody
Right.
that's just starting out, it might need to be more gradual that way.
Start getting your feelers out to find out how the market is if you haven't been too active, just to get a sense of how the world is outside of your four walls.
hmm
And start getting those, as Alan was saying, gradually. One day I'm going to do this. Next day I'm going to do that because you suddenly don't want to enter your office either.
Right? Somehow we have to normalize the response. You're not alone. There's grief stages that tend to come with this process. Statistically, at this time of the year, we move into the holidays, and statistically, those are the hardest, I would say, emotional months to
hmm
be able to deal with big changes, and especially if companies make those changes at the end of the year.
Mhm.
And depending on that preparation and where we're at, ultimately, it's reaching out to individuals, having community, so that we're not
Yes.
alone and we're not isolated. And then
Exactly. Showing how you've been staying busy, you worked on a passion project, you really, leaned into your leadership. I think that's excellent. And we don't need to worry about those career gaps as much as we used to. If you
right,
haven't had to do a job search in a long time, honestly, since the pandemic, career gaps are, and gaps in your job search, in your job, people used to panic if there was more than a month there, right?
right.
It's not necessarily a big deal anymore. I tell people up until you get to about a year, it's really not a big deal and you're not going to field a ton of questions about it.
Do is to stay visible because the interview process is taking
Mm,
so long that they need to keep reminding people they exist. They're
yes,
contributing, that they're doing something. Oh, I found this article that's related to whatever it was that we discussed last week.
right.
Those kinds of things, the follow up component that it's so easy to forget about, has to be present. It's the only way to stay on people's radars. And that's going to make a difference in the final results. This person took the time to do ABC
hmm
versus this other person who didn't.
Maintain parallel momentum. Don't put your eggs in one basket. So do what Norma said, and then make sure you're continuing to connect with others on the back end.
Yes, do not wait till the very last thing. I mean, 5 months long is an eternity in business and anything can change in there. So
Yeah.
no matter how sure of a thing it looks, keep the momentum rolling, get more irons in the fire. Absolutely.